New concept cars are introduced by automakers worldwide each year. These are primarily display vehicles for the capabilities of the company or the evolution of their design aesthetic. Typically, they either depict a car that will be released in the near future or a car that will look like something from the far future. Sadly, some of these concept vehicles are ridiculous. At least one step has been taken too far. In this video, we are going to show you 5 most ridiculous concept cars ever made. What a peculiar automobile this is. It's a 2-seater BMW Roadster, which sounds fantastic until you realize that the skin is made of translucent, water-resistant synthetic fabric, also known as polyurethane-coated spandex. The body changes its shape according to exterior conditions and speeds, and it also allows the driver to change its shape at will. The shape of the frame is controlled by electric and hydraulic actuators. For example, the headlights are revealed when small motors pull the fabric back in an eyelet-like fashion, which is another strange and unnecessary feature. The Gina features a birdwing-style door, similar to the one seen on the BMW i8. Access to the engine can be gained through a slit that can open in the middle of the bonnet. We can only imagine that BMW was very bored when designing this car. It was definitely a good decision that it was never put into production. The Gina was wild, and nothing like it has since been made. The Peugeot Moovie is essentially a hamster on wheels. It may sound silly, but this crazy concept car was created by a 23-year-old university student from Portugal with the intention of being an eco-friendly vehicle. If this is what future environmental protection looks like, we'll stick with our F-150s instead. The Moovie was introduced in 2005 at the Frankfurt International Motor Show in Germany, but given how bizarre and futuristic it is, it could as well be from the year 3005. The overall shape of the Peugeot Moovie is round, and the car is almost fully enclosed with glass, which is held together by a chrome trim along the panoramic windshield, which extends to the rear, and navy blue body panels on the sides and rear. On the side door windows and front windshield are large Peugeot Lion badges. It is incredibly light, considering that it only weighs 500 kilograms. A Caterham of today? On that one, we'll leave it up to you. Introduced towards the end of the ill-fated Daimler-Chrysler era, the Chrysler Imperial was a conceptual flagship that took inspiration from classic Imperial models of the 1930s and 1950s. A terrible sedan from 2006, the Chrysler Imperial was made to compete with the Mercedes S-Class and even the Bentley Flying Spur, showcasing a 6-figure image but at a much lower price. With its suicide doors, grille, and overall form, it appeared to be a knockoff of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Since it was based on an existing production car, the 300C, the Imperial was fully functional. As a matter of fact, some members of the media had the chance to actually drive the car at low speeds. The rear-wheel drive LX platform in a stretched configuration combined with a punchy Hemi V8, all wrapped up in a large and heavy package, must have made it an unusual car to drive. It was a terrible car, and happily, it was never produced. It would be a poor man's Rolls-Royce Phantom and have absolutely no street credibility if it had been put into production. This has to be one of the ugliest concept cars ever made. On this one, we are at a loss for words. The front end of the car is at the back, and the back end is at the front, giving it the appearance of a 1950s backward-facing automobile. Capable of 353 brake horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque, and matched with a 4-speed automatic transmission, the V8 engine in the Dodge Super 8 could sprint from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. In the end, it was just a jumble, and it's unclear to us what Dodge was attempting to accomplish. It was a hybrid of earlier Dodge SUV and truck concepts. Not a good match at all, but Dodge was wise enough to forego producing this monstrosity, since doing so would have embarrassed the company. This is a dangerous car since it makes us have blurry vision. What on earth went on here? It was the world's safest car at the time, the first one to ever hold that title in an era when the idea of passenger safety wasn't on the radar with carmakers, but you had to pay a price for good safety, and that was your dignity. It's horrible. It is the Elephant Man on wheels. It looks as if it is a car from a sci-fi movie. The concept was launched in 1957, at a time when cars were getting pretty extreme. This was just too over the top, hence why it never reached the production stages. If it did, it would have been a complete flop.